No, I can't click it. I'm like, what's the point of me seeing the button that I can't use? Okay. I apologize. It was not my intent to break the frame. If you knew how light amount of effort I was using to close the door, I was far from slamming. I was far from slamming. So I apologize. I thought I
You
was
you
just doing it
actually
real
were
quick.
not far from slamming because two of them fell off the wall and one of them broke. So you were at slamming. In fact,
No,
you were
no,
being no, yes, you were. I
I'm talking
told you
about
to
the
stop.
amount of effort I was
I don't
using.
care about the amount of effort. I told you you have been slamming that door and you did not believe me. And now you have two of my certificates have fallen off the wall and you have broken a frame. So what other indication do you need that I said you were slamming the
Okay.
door?
And I'm saying I was using, I'm
I
going
don't
light.
care about the amount of strength. I told you you were slamming the door, so that means use less strength. I've been saying use less
Already
strength.
using less. Maybe I could just hold the handle all the
Maybe
way through.
don't touch my door no more. How about that?
I said I could
That's the
hold the
solution.
handle all the way through.
How about you don't close the door anymore? That you're at don't close the door. This is a pinky promise situation right here. You are at don't close the doors anymore.
Because you're already seated at your desk and most of the time you're already set up. I told you what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take the handle all the way through and close it.
I told you what you're gonna do. You're not closing my doors anymore. Not with these degrees on the wall. I mean these certificates on the wall. No, no, absolutely not. Mm-mm. No. I told you you were slamming the door.
And I told you what I was using. I've slammed doors in the past from being
And you
dysregulated
had less
and
strength.
upset. And
You
so
had
now I'm
less
like, I'm not
strength.
even upset. I'm trying to help you out so you don't have to get up.
Well,
And
thank
so
you.
you're already in
And
position.
now one of my frames is broken. So thank you so much for the help. Happy to help. Thank you. Good job. Good job. Do you want to help in any other way? Would you like to come back
I
and let
could
the other
switch it
five
out.
fall
I
off
could
the
switch
wall?
out with one of the backup ones. I could do that. So I can
Good
clean up
morning, Bridget.
the glass. Well, the fake
Okay.
glass.
Okay. How about we're at 5:31? Go ahead and flip your screen around so because I actually need to breathe this morning.
Okay, I'm just saying I could change
Flip
it
the
out.
screen.
You
Good
you
morning,
might
Jared.
you
Flip the
might
screen.
not want me to to close the door anymore, but I can at least switch out the certificate and everything to close the loop. I've been attempted to be very supportive throughout this process. I printed them out. I put them in a folder.
No,
Okay.
it's time. It's time to start the
Okay.
live.
Okay. Okay.
Good morning. We're going to start with 3 emotionally regulated breaths that I actually do need this morning. I am going to count you in a 3, 2, 1 descending order fashion. And then you will inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Let us begin. 3, 2, 1. Nola, can you please go and turn the heat back on 70? Thank
Okay,
you
I'm
very
gonna keep
much.
my background turned so no one can see me.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, the amazing Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to Real Life with Nola and Dr. Donna. And you all have the opportunity to experience Nola not doing a good thing
Oh
and
my
Dr. Donna
god.
not harming her.
Okay,
So
hold
before we
on.
get started,
Hold on.
no,
No, hold on.
no,
No, this
no,
part I do need to clarify ahead of time. You said turn it down, right? I put it on
that is
70.
correct.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So as you all know, I have never put any certificates up on the TikTok live 2 days ago or 3 days ago. I showed you my wall with my 5 neuroscience certificates and my 1 science Olympiad certificate. Even when I had degrees, I put them in entertainment centers and on mantles or fireplaces, but never displayed on the wall. So I have them on my wall. Good morning, Regina, and good morning, Lola. Lola and Regina said good morning
Yeah,
to
good
us.
morning.
I have been telling Nola for months now, you are slamming my office door. I keep telling her, you're slamming my office door because she is so strong now. She has said, I'm not slamming the door. I'm not slamming the door. And then I said, you know what? Part of it is because of where the vent is, it does pull the door closed when you close it. But I said, you're slamming it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. We're getting ready for the live. The procedure is because I'm already seated, closes. So she thinks she closes the door. But I was in my
So she don't have
bathroom.
to get out of
And so
position.
you said what?
I said, so
So
you
I
don't
don't
have to
have to
get
get
out of
out of my
position.
chair. So I'm in my bathroom. She slams the door, and
Mhm.
then I hear glass breaking. So take it away, Nola. What happened? Tell the group what I
Today,
heard.
the principal should be apologized when you're wrong, which I already did. If you wanted to scroll back into the live, that was already discussed. Hi.
Good
Um.
morning, Monique. Tell them, Nola, what took
Okay, I
place.
said okay.
Don't give any disclaimers.
No,
Tell them
I'm
what
saying it
happened.
should be. I apologize when you're wrong, because then that would be right on time with what's happening. I guess look
Well, it's
people in the
not.
eye when you
Yep.
talk to them.
Hmm.
Anyway, what I was saying, you said what happened. So I closed the door.
Slammed.
I
Slammed, Your Honor.
I'm
Slammed.
using minimal effort. So there has been times in the past where we have not been handling conflict when it occurs, and I've actually slammed the door because I was upset. I said I've actually slammed the door because I was upset. And so in this instance, I'm attempting to help her. So she doesn't have to get up and can already be ready with the camera with live and everything. And so that's what I've been doing. And so I forgot even that the frames were on there until it cracked. I was like, "Oh shit." Um, and so 2 frames fell. 1 frame is broken. We do have backup frames that I hope to be able to switch out after the live. But it was not my intent. Like I said, I apologize. And so I was saying I could adjust it to be doing it softly, but yeah.
Yes. So good morning, Monique. Good morning, Daisy. Lola said, Dr. Donna, yesterday you told me to research the white coat syndrome in the form of anxiety. The smile you were teaching is called endorphins. Yes, you are releasing endorphins when you do that. Yes, ma'am. So the moral of the story is Nola is extremely strong. And I said that, and I've been saying that. And so I have been saying minimal effort. So we are at an impasse. She believes that she should get another turn in attempting to close the door correctly. And I'm saying, don't touch my fucking door ever, never again. So you all can help in deciding
Oh my god.
should Nola, after breaking one of the frames on
It
two
was
fell off the
from the
wall,
Dollar Tree.
one broke. The glass is broken. So now I
It's
have
not even
broken
actual
glass
glass. That's the problem.
in whatever the hell it is broken. And now I have a certificate on the floor that I worked very hard for, and it fell and broke. So should Nola get another opportunity to close this door? Because I'm at pinky promise level where she can't pinky promise no more. I might like, don't touch my doorknob. Don't touch my doorknob. Don't close my door. Don't do anything because my neuroscience certificate is now on the floor, broken with glass on top of it. So y'all can help Nola out or me. Should she be allowed to practice closing the door correctly after two fell and one broke? When I have been telling her, you are slamming the door. You are slamming the door. You are slamming the door. And why are you saying yes, Lola?
We get one vote in. She should have a
She should
chance.
have a why? Okay, Lola, why? When I've been telling her that she has been slamming the door. So, in my view, I have been telling her you're slamming the door, and now there's evidentiary proof that she is actually slamming the door, whether she feels like she's slamming it
Oh
or not.
man, we got 1 and 1.
That you
Uh,
was slamming the door, you should have addressed it then. No, don't be allowed. Nola, don't do it. That's what I'm saying. Because I told you. I told you you were slamming the door. Yes, under digital supervision.
oh my god. So what am I? We're 2 and 2 right now.
Apparently.
We need
So
the
see, y'all
tiebreaker.
get all of it. You should have saw me when I walked in there and that certificate. I said, you. And she's like, but remember, I helped get them printed out and all these other things. And I'm
Because
like, yeah, you're in the
it
process of
wasn't
destroying it.
malice. I wasn't trying to do
It
anything
doesn't
wrong.
matter.
And part of it, they're in the wrong frame and they're not mounted properly. This was a trial set. So if I had put them up in the right frame, they wouldn't have even moved.
Let me ask you this. Since they have been put up and I have been closing my door for lives, how many frames have fallen off the wall?
None. But there was one
Okay.
time I walked past and one fell down.
But did it break?
No.
Did it? Because break means force, brute force in order for something to break. So the one that broke was closer to the door and higher up.
Yes, because it goes through the same thing. Sometimes I don't know my own strength. Okay, that's what
Yes,
Lola said.
that's what
You have to
Lola is
close
saying.
the door
Lola's
pretty
coming from
hard for something to
contractor
fall off
strength.
the wall.
Lola is coming from contractor strength. That's why she's on your side.
Bridget is upset with me.
No, and Daisy said no, let her take total responsibility to make the repairs of the frame. Yes, she is. As soon as this live is over, she's doing
We'll
that.
switch it
The
out. But it
question is,
happened
did
right
she get to?
before.
You have to close the door pretty hard for something to fall off the wall. Thank you,
I know that's
Bridget.
what Bridget is upset with me.
Yes, and these are my neuroscience the certificates, y'all. Neuroscience. She's presenting facts. So Lola is on your side because she got contractor strength too. And so she knows how strong y'all actually are. Okay. So that part. Looking I told you were slamming the door.
I
And
understand.
now we have proof that you were slamming the door. You have a super child there. I know she looks small, but she definitely is like an ant and can pick up 5 times her weight. 100%. Okay, we'll get to the lesson. It's
I got photos. I should bring photos next week of me as a little kid. I was a rocked up baby.
Yeah.
I don't know what she was feeding me, but I look like a little muscle baby.
Regina said no, it's not worth the grief. Let it go.
Oh my god. But she's upset, and I didn't mean to do it. So what total are we at? We were at 3 yeses and 2 no's.
We are at you ain't closing the door no more.
No.
We used to call her Baby Bam because
Yeah, they used to call
Bam,
me Baby Bam.
because of Bam Bam off of the Flintstones. We used to call her
It's
Baby
much
Bam.
worse than that now.
It is. It is. It really is. That part. So I told her. So the answer is no. Thank you, Lola, for your input as an independent contractor as well. Y'all got that contractor strength, and that strength is different than normal strength.
Well, then I guess I got to work on it for the car then.
I know you ain't talking about the car. Okay, so the new car is bigger,
I said I know I got to work on it for the car
but
then
literally
before
in the other
something
car,
else gets taken away from me.
In the other car, the Dodge Journey, she would literally slam the trunk and the car would move. She would be putting stuff in the trunk and the car would move.
Jared says stuff happens.
There we go with people with physical strength in your jobs. So the physical strength people, that's that. You have to recognize your strength and use it appropriately. That's the whole point, Bridget. That's the whole point.
Recognize
your strengths and use them appropriately.
And
so she's saying,
know your weaknesses. That's the principle.
Right, but what we're saying is you're using too much strength. So the effort that it used to take for you to do something, it doesn't take that anymore. So you have to recognize that you are stronger. So we went, and one more story, and we're going to get to this. We went to the arcade to do basketball.
No, you didn't say what was happening with the car. You didn't finish that.
Right. So with the car, she's in the back because the Journey had 3 rows. And so the 3rd row is down. So all her equipment is there. She literally will go and grab stuff and the car will be moving. And then she will slam the trunk and the car will move. She will slam the door and I will shake. And I will say, can you not shake the car when you slam the door? Stop slamming the door. I didn't slam the door. Then why am I doing like this when you get out? Know that you're strong and don't realize how strong you are. That's all. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. So we went to the arcade as we do. We've been going to the arcades. All the casinos have arcades. They're making new stuff. Lola, this house was built in 1997. This house was built in 1997.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody's perspective on both sides, but it's true. Yeah.
Lola resembles this remark. She's slamming car doors too. She picking up houses too. That's what this is about. She advocating because she is guilty. So we went to a couple months ago. We went to the local casino by our house, the old folks casino, because they don't go to the
Yes,
arcade. And
she is.
we were playing basketball. And Nola's balls. First of all, one
I
of them
thought you
hit.
were going to talk about with air hockey, how the puck kept going
Right.
off
So
the
with air
table.
hockey, the puck kept falling off the table, and because nobody was in there, they weren't getting hit with it. But she kept hitting it off the table and around the arcade. And then she started doing basketball, and the balls kept bouncing out of the whole thing and bouncing over into other parts of the arcade. Luckily, it was just she and I and one of the attendants there.
Employees.
And that's it, one of the employees. So
I
needless
forgot
to
about
say, we
that.
haven't been back to the arcade because if any people are in there, she gonna injure somebody trying to play air hockey and basketball. That part. Yeah. Incredible Hulk. I'm telling you. It kept bouncing out. It was hitting the rim and bouncing. Y'all know those games at the arcade where the net is on both sides. It was bouncing behind her into other parts of the arcade. I did win though. I had 31. So I still got them handles. Anyway, she
No,
did.
because what happened was I was hitting
And
too.
here come Lola. Did
I,
you win?
I was throwing the balls too hard; they weren't going in. I think the highest I ended up getting on one was 29.
And I
But
got
my
31.
shot was messed up because I was used to
Hmm.
scoring, but I was trying to figure out what level of
And that
strength to have for it to go in.
and I'm glad I said that because those videos of us being in the arcade are still on my phone, so I need to post those. So anyway, Nola has superhuman strength, so don't fuck with her mama because y'all gonna get them hands. She ain't gonna need no other weapon. Manos Days Piedres right there, fist of steel. That's what's going on. So leave her mama alone. I told y'all don't come this way because it won't be nice. They'll be like, damn, how did they rip their arms out the
Well,
socket?
but part of it, the other reason she knew something was up because when I started having to cut metal at appointments and I was using the handsaw, and so I would cut half of it and then just break the rest.
There were other signs. That wasn't the only sign. There were other signs. When the box says two-person lift, and next thing I know, she done set up the whole everything, and I come in there and I'm like, high five, two people lift, team lift boxes, get in this room. Who did that? How did that occur? That part. She is the two-person lift now. So anyway, no door closing. You could practice on your door. So if shit falls off your walls, you got canvases and stuff. That ain't gonna impact nothing. But my neuroscience degrees ain't gonna be on the floor again. That part I do know. Okay, so today we are here to talk about look people in the eye as a principle of real leadership. Gonna give you 3 brain benefits to looking people in the eye. Say
She
what? I
said,
need some of that, Nola.
oh my
Some of
god,
what?
I think she was talking about the models des
Oh, this
Piedras.
Manos Days Piedras. You got to be lifting up furniture boxes, Regina. I don't know. It's not all kind of stuff. Just yeah, upstairs, and it's just she is strong, very strong. Now don't get it twisted, because I'm still her mama. So if some shit pop off and she try to think I'm not her mama, yeah, I still got
Hasn't
mama
happened
strength.
in a while.
Right, I still got mama strength on top of that. So I reserve my strength as a power source to lay
It's
hands on the
did
sick
she
with the
just
fivefold
grappling?
ministry.
She's got strong legs. That's what it
I
is.
do. So don't what you want me standing. She's like, oh, we're gonna knock her old ass on the ground. All right, say less. Say less. Nola's like, I tried it, it didn't work. Like, I can't breathe. I'm like, I know you can't. You still want
When I
to
first became an adult, we had a couple grapple situations. My
scuffles.
first year in business and
Yes.
18 and everything. I was figuring some
Yeah.
stuff out.
So she was trying to assert herself in her grown self way. So that part, she found out that I'm still me. Captain Thomas still resides on the inside.
I
So
we don't even do that. I mean, we the handle conflict when it occurs is definitely good. I mean, the most we've gotten is just a little slightly volued uh arguments, but most of the time with the handle conflict it would occur that could just be adjusted, but nothing intense.
yes, I am still the Speaker of the House.
Oh my
That is
god.
correct. That is correct. So here are 3 benefits to sustained eye contact during conversations, and they're anchored obviously in neuroscience. So executive control stays online under social load. Maintaining eye contact recruits and stabilizes the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex and the ventromedial prefrontal cortex activity, which keeps the brain in a agentic state rather than a threat monitoring one. Look at her face.
Angentic.
Instead of the amygdala scanning for approval and danger or escape, the prefrontal cortex stays in charge of timing, language selection, and response inhibition. So that means you're not going to interrupt the person. You're not going to say, oh, no, wait a minute, all of that, and back and forth. So you actually have a conversation as opposed to a debate. So the net effect is there's less social anxiety, fewer impulsive verbal leaks, and higher cognitive authority during the interaction. This is why regulated leaders don't avert their gaze when pressure rises. Now, I know that there are certain cultures that if you look someone in the eye, that's disrespectful. And I'm going to leave that to those cultures. We do not live in those cultures. And so that is where this principle is from. If that is your culture, this is not the live for you. Number two, introceptive calibration and emotional accuracy. So the brain reads itself more accurately when reading others. So the mirror neurons, when you see somebody interacting, like Nola is moving around right now while I'm watching, so that's creating a distraction because you don't know which one of us to watch while she moves around. So we'll wait. Are you
No, I'm
finished?
I'm trying to see if I less by the light. See, that actually made me clearer, so we don't look like we're in two different
We still
generation
do
helmet.
because you refuse to get a selfie light. So we still do. Okay. So eye contact strengthens insula and ACC coupling, which improves real-time tracking of internal states while processing external social signals. So the brain becomes better at distinguishing I'm activated, they're activated, discomfort versus disagreement, and then signal versus noise. So the net effect is it reduces emotional contamination. It does. Yes, ma'am. Listening and looking. That is correct. And so it's clearer emotional boundaries, it's fewer misattributions. They don't like me. This is unsafe because you're actually looking and assessing. And this is advanced regulation, not confidence. What I would like to say is one of the most challenging things that I've experienced, as today is day number 808 live, in my 5 communication certifications and my ability to instruct an audience or classroom environment, I am accustomed to seeing people. And that's the one thing that Chris Rock said, the difference between stand-up comedy and a movie is that you have to wait for the laugh. Yes, Nola.
No, I'm saying you can see me.
Right. And so it's difficult because that's why I'm always fixing my hair. It's not an insecurity thing. If I was talking to you in person, I would not see me. So my hair could be all over the place and it wouldn't matter because I would be looking at you. But for 808 lives and double that from September the 6th, I'm looking at myself. And now I have to be engaging and I have to talk to you and look at you as if I'm talking to you when I'm actually talking to myself. So that has been the most challenging thing and the biggest obstacle for me to overcome. Because if I'm in a room, I can look at body language and see who's getting what I'm understanding what I'm saying, who's not getting it, who's paying attention, and who's not. Regina, as a teacher, you know that. And if Stacy was on here, you kind of need the student to be present in order for that to work. So all I have is a profile photo and your words. And now I need to interpret what you're saying and make sure that you're getting this very high level information. So that part has been the highest part because I'm looking at me in the eye, but I'm talking to y'all. So that has been so difficult. So y'all feel like I'm talking to you because you can see me. And y'all feel like y'all talking to each other because of the chat, because the brain has now been able to process that. But for 808 days, I've been talking to me with a couple days with Nola sprinkled in. Still was talking to myself on TikTok.
No,
So
it
that is
hasn't been
the most
significant. What
challenging.
we did like 20 of these?
Yes, somewhere around there. But for 808 days, I've been talking to myself. So I can't hear y'all, I can't see y'all. And all I can do is read what you're saying. And that's it. So that was the one of the biggest hurdles. And then how do I still make this feel connected and personal when I'm literally looking at myself? Number 3, and this is the last one, so then Nola can take over. Social prediction error reduction. fewer mental stimulations, and more reality. So, direct eye contact dramatically lowers predictive uncertainty in social exchanges. So, instead of the brain running multiple hypothetical outcomes, how am I being perceived? Visual access to other person's space provides continuous corrective feedback. So, if somebody like they don't get what you're saying, if somebody goes, somebody you get it, you see it happening. And so this reduces the default mode rumination and keeps cognition task bound. So I'm in my default mode network. I don't know where y'all at. I don't know what environment you're in. And I'm still talking. And so that is, again, the most challenging thing because I'm like, I can't see y'all. So how this ain't two-way, in theory, it's two-way communication, but one is verbal and the other one is written. And so I'm physical, you're a written communication, and we're going back and forth. And somehow we leave having had this very different exchange, communicative exchange that didn't take place 30 years ago. So this reduces the default mode rumination, as I mentioned. And so the net effect is less overthinking after conversation, faster trust calibrations because we are looking at each other in the eye, more efficient social energy. Energy is exposed or exchanged between each other, and the brain stops guessing and starts updating. So, eye contact is not about politeness or dominance. It is a neuroregulation behavior that keeps the prefrontal cortex online, sharpens internal signals clarity, and collapses unnecessary mental stimulations. And so
Well,
that's why it
thank you.
feels
I was just saying what you said. Thank you.
be able to see y'all. That's great. That's why it feels grounding when done by a regulated adult and threatening when done by someone that's dysregulated. So if somebody like, look me in the eye when I'm talking to you, that's not saying this, hey, how you doing? Good morning. Let's go ahead and have this interesting dialogue. She's able to learn better. Yes, ma'am. I
Like
agree.
this, like this.
Right. With those menacing eyebrows, looking like a cartoon, a mean Muppet right now. Okay. So now that I am completely calm from my neuroscience certificate being on the ground in a broken frame, and we have an understanding of the importance of the neurological aspects of eye contact because it helps you understand and communicate effectively, which is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Nola, go ahead and take it away with look people in the eye and drink water for the first time. Yes, ma'am.
What I'm saying is before when I was right by the light, I'm staticky. I know I'm not as clear as you, but I'm not. I was looking gray over there.
Mm-hmm. And if you get a selfie light, let's try this because I know your autism doesn't want to change. But let's try a selfie light next week to see if you become clearer for everybody. Because you have a yellow light bulb, it's not 100 watt, and it's a lamp,
It's not
and
a
it's
well lit room either. It's pretty dark in
right.
here. And
Is
it's the morning.
well, and if you take my two selfie lamps and this lamp away, it won't be well lit either. See, watch this. See, you see the difference?
Mhm. Yeah, I see.
It's the difference. And if I turn that other light off, it's really gonna be different. All you gotta do is go to my YouTube playlist, the TikTok lives, and those were done before I had selfie lights, and the lights are different. It is not as it's a not a well lit light. Okay, go ahead, Nola. What do you have?
With my mental illness, I had a very difficult time with look people in the eye when you talk to them. So I had two extremes where I would either not people are talking to me and looking at me and I'm like, yeah, cool. Because then I didn't want to look them in the eye at all. Or I would be staring people down and so they would be talking to me and I'm looking at them like this.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, talk.
So anyway, what I was saying was this is how things need to be done in the household. And now she's staring at me looking, and I'm trying to teach her how to cook, and she's staring menacingly at me. That
Right.
part. Yes, ma'am.
Especially I hit you with this one. So had difficulty of knowing what to do where, and people be like, "Man, why are you staring at me?" So I definitely did not have a good balance of eye contact. It was either way too much or not little, and then you're talking to people and you're not looking at them, and then it's like you're the people they think have a lack of trust to it. Looking people in the mouth. Oh wow, got it. Yes, and so I would be talking to clients. Part of it is because I was building, but they would actually be asking me stuff, and they're like, "What are you thinking?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think it's cool." So definitely, because I'm kind of scared of eye contact, but then if I do start paying attention to somebody, then I'm doing too much, and then now they're like,
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
right. So the look people that I when talking to them, I think I do a better job. I still kind of pace, but I do a balance of like starting to look at people, look away, or whatever. I'm better. It's still an area I could prove though. Right in the
So,
eye.
right. So Bridget said, I have a habit of looking people in the mouth. Regina said that was a challenge. Bridget said, I'm working on eye contact and looking people in the eye. Here's the thing that I have found, and I said this when I actually went over looking people in the eye for the let me phase, is I can look people in the eye, but when people are dishonest or are insecure,
And
then
I've
they look
heard that
away.
one too, the stare at the eyebrows, so you're
Yes,
still
if you
looking
look
at their
above the
face,
eyebrows.
but
Yes. And so what I found is if they're insecure, then the mirror neurons in me will make me look away when that's not my natural inclination. And even if I look at them, they still look away because there is some type of insecurity or tension in there. Yes. Yes. Look at the eyebrows. And it's difficult because people have said the eyes are the windows to the soul and all of that. You can't, even if somebody tries to smile, that's not a real smile because the eyes aren't bright. So yeah. So whenever I see photos of people on Facebook and Instagram, Fakeogram, I always look at the eyes to see if the photo is
or
actually
people will be
sincere
like
or not.
this, they'll be like
Huh?
this, and then
Right. And sometimes if I have time, I will look at multiple photos of the person, and I'm like, every time they smile, that's their smile. Always. I am working on eye contact as well. I feel tension in my body sometimes. And so part of that tension is because it has to be an honest exchange. So if it's a dishonest exchange, that's what the insula is sending an alert. Because as I mentioned, when you feel safe, the amygdala feels safe, then you can have that exchange. If it doesn't, it's like this is making me uncomfortable, and this is I'm discomforted, and I don't know if I can trust this and that. And with a dysregulated group of 5.9 billion adults, it's hard to maintain eye contact. What I've also experienced is that in person, people have no problem. Let me tell you what happened. And it's like they have this, I'm getting ready
I
to tell you
said
my
she's
whole
like
life story.
Wonder Woman. People talk to her and she gets the truth. She's gotten the truth out of all types of people. They just give her entire life story.
Right. It's like I got the truth band wrapped around them. And that's the man, and this kid, oh my goodness. And then after this, and then he did this, and we are over leveraged, and we don't have any money, and we're living off credit cards, and all, the whole story. We get the whole story. They have no problem, probably because I ain't got no problem telling my shit. So just boundaries down. So part of that
That's
is
not always true because sometimes it'll be new customers and they do it.
that's
And
true
you ain't
too.
even said nothing. You've
Right.
you've made that joke all the time. You're like, so where do you want me to put the trash?
Right. And they over there like, yeah, I just got back from the doctor. Two of my siblings died this week. I'm on my way to their funerals.
You like,
So, do you want the trash in the garage or in the where are your recycle bins? Whole story. They give me, yeah, I was addicted to meth for 20 years. I would
okay.
when I was younger, we would get in trouble for looking in the eye. In the eyes, I had to learn when I got older for getting jobs, etc. Right. And so that was the thing. Don't be eyeballing me. Don't what you looking at. And so culturally, that could be a thing for people. And this principle of real leadership will not work for you if that goes against your culture. However, in the land of real leaders, you need to make that eye contact because you are establishing trust and you are being trustworthy. And it is difficult. We live in a world where lying works, fake it till you make it, and then you're just fake. People are hiding all kind of things. Dysregulation causes everything is a threat. Everybody's a threat. And when you are regulated and you are emotionally regulated, and you have a strong prefrontal cortex, then looking people in the eye becomes something that you can do because now it's the truth. It is 100% the truth. So how you can start to do it and strengthen it. Nola, sit back. Okay.
I don't feel like you're looking me in the eye.
Because I'm thinking.
See, are we looking at each other now?
I'm looking dead at you.
Okay.
Right. You couldn't do it. Exactly. You could not do it. It was unacceptable. And so now so many more things are acceptable. And if I have my way, the 74 principles of real leadership will be the way that we engage with each other in our
We
day-to-day
need a
lives.
balance.
So all of these things will go away. One thing as a side note that I will say is because of the 48 months of break away from my family, that I got rid of all of that nonsense. As we saw yesterday on the live, all of these things are showing up. And chat said I was correct and that that person was attempting to assert their dominance. And that's why. So I asked Chat, and I told Chat I used the N word and everything. I'm honest with Chat. I'm not about to act like I'm not. But I said, Chat, 5 men came on my live in the last 2 days and talked about my hair. One told me that my bangs were diabolical and to you need to see your eyebrows. And I said, what is this about? Gay and straight men coming for my wigs. And what Chat told me is this. They are not happy with my presentation skills. So I come across as this assertive, confident, and competent leader, and that impacts their nervous system. And they're actually unaware of this. And so, what they want to do as men, whether they're gay or straight, is assert their dominance over a woman. And the first thing that they can do, and the only thing they can really see, is the wig. And so they start with the insults because my light is shining too bright for them. And so that's why the person from Detroit went on that little run. And I told Chat, 4 other people came, and obviously the one we had fun with, Regina and I at the end. But the rest of them, I just dismissed them. And so why did that happen? And Chat said, because your insula registered with the person from Detroit. And what happened was y'all had a Detroit exchange. And when that person came for you, you said the N word to let that person know I'm from 7 Mile too. So don't get this twisted. In fact, I'm from Glendale. Not in theory, it was the wrong thing to do, but it was the street thing to do. So that's why that exchange took place. And then I went on about my business and I ignored everybody else because for 27 years, I had been experiencing that from African American men in Detroit. And that was my insula saying no and no more. Now I say that to say I looked him dead in his face and into the phone so he could see me talking to him, even though I couldn't see him. I still had the neurological strength to say, listen here, N word, and then go ham and hamburger. So what happens is when you have the ability, when you know who you are, you will look someone in the face, even if you can't see them, and even if they aren't looking you in the face, because you are number one, holding somebody personally accountable for coming into my space and trying to be disrespectful. But I digress. So the point is that these men showing up saying you look like you're on meth, what's wrong with your bangs, get that wig off your head, is their nervous system saying you don't fit into the social conformity theory that I am accustomed to. So I need to assert my dominance so you will know your place. That was a very interesting thing to take place. Additionally, I was in Whole Foods yesterday again. I'm gonna have to stop getting Nana's homemade chicken noodle soup. No, I'm not. So yesterday I decided to get dress. So I have on black leather boots, black leather jeans, a black blouse with some shimmer in it, a black shirt, my black pashmina. I put on this suede coat with these floral embellishments and different brown hair, sunglasses because I have a beginning of cataract, so I have to wear sunglasses outside now. And so red lipstick. So I'm walking through Whole Foods, and there is this Hispanic woman who blocks my path as I'm going to the soup. It was crowded in there. So I thought, oh, okay, it's crowded. People trying to get to the lunch. So I get back to the same area of the homemade soup again, Nana's homemade chicken noodle soup. And she's talking to the friend, what kind of soup should I get my husband or whatever? They're over there by the chicken pot pie soup. And then I'm scooping my soup and I hear, is that chicken noodle soup? And I turn and she right here. She right here, y'all. I said, are you speaking to me? Yes. Is that chicken noodle soup? And I said, yes. Do you need, I said, you can't see that? I see fine. I see perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with my eyes. And so I might have said a little, just a little bit worse than that. Just to, you know, dig at her because she just close to my face. So this morning I asked Chat, what the hell was that about? And so what Chat said is that not only do men want to assert their dominance, but older women see other older women and their nervous system has an alert. I said, all these motherfuckers in their alerts. And so she decided that I was not in my old woman's place. So as an older woman over 50, you got a place too, in case you didn't know it. So what's supposed to happen with her bumping into me accidentally, with her coming in my 6 inches away from my face, personal space, I was supposed to comply with these unwritten rules that I had no idea existed. So I was either supposed to be rude to her because I looked potentially like a wealthy person. So I was supposed to be rude to her. I was supposed to be helpful to I know you're not old, Lola. This is genetics. This is genetics, this is society. And when you start aging. So I was supposed to either acquiesce and answer her question, which I asked her a question instead. I was supposed to comply and start telling her about the soup and one more other thing. And when I didn't do any of those things, I cut off what was supposed to be a confrontational situation, a compliant situation, or a helpful situation. That's what's supposed to happen when you see an older woman. You walk up to her and she's supposed to do one of these things. And because I did none of those things, and I looked her in her eye and said, are you speaking to me? Because I thought she was talking to the friend, but she this close to me. And then because it didn't go like she thought, she went off. Same thing with the pervert telling me, I want Joseph. So, unbeknownst to me, for 50 some years, there are all these unwritten rules about these roles that I was supposed to be fulfilling that I was unaware of. And now, people, because I stopped talking to my immediate family and I got that 48 months away from them, I'm neuro clear. My insula is now alerting me of all of these things that are taking place because my existence in their world is creating alerts in their nervous system that they're uncomfortable with. So, because I am not fitting the mold of whatever they have me in their head as, they are now instinctively coming to put me in my place in their head of me. Does that make sense? So they know you're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be wearing that. You're not supposed to be saying that. You are one of these things is not like the other. So let me go find out who you are or who you think you are and put you back in the box that I have in my head of you based upon this. And so that's an interesting concept. And I'm saying that for you. So the more self aware and self actualized you become, the more discomfort it causes for everybody around you because their nervous system sees you as a threat to their conformity bias, their confirmation bias, and their natural way of being in this world. I would have never thought that a 60-something-year-old Hispanic woman would have been 6 inches from my face asking me about what is blatantly
She was
obvious
close
Nana's
because
chicken.
I didn't see the bump, but I did see the soup. I was like, Jesus, she next to her like she know her. What in the
Like
hell?
she know me. And so
Mhm.
I was scooping the soup because it
It
was
was
hot. Is that
beyond
chicken noodle soup?
it was
And I'm like,
beyond people being at the hot bar at the same time. She literally was invading her personal space.
my
It was
boundaries.
bad.
And that's what
Yeah.
Chat said, that it was past the personal boundary because
They
her
were like this
nervous
close to
system,
each other. It was
she
wild.
was. And so what happened was, again, when you have a dysregulated system, Amy and Lala pop off before you even know what's taking place. They're already 6 inches away from somebody's face, and in their personal space because this went against everything she knew. She looked frumpy and dumpy. So she was playing her role in society, and I was not. And she needed to find out who did I think I was by not fitting into this over 50. And it wasn't like some of these 50-year-old women, because my follow-up question to Chat was this. And I said, so how is that different than women who are my age that have on very little clothes? They want to let everybody know that they still got it. And so what Chat said is that isn't the same thing because that group is still saying, I was fine in my 30s and I'm fine now. So that group is actually looking for attention. Got the extra split and you got your hoo-has and your poo-pah out. You're saying, pay attention to me. So by the sheer utter fact that I walked into Whole Foods, coming to get lunch and dinner, unfazed, unbothered, and unconcerned about anybody else in Whole Foods was a problem for everybody else in Whole Foods. So my mere self-containment was an issue. And people were looking at everything, but Amy and Lala said, I got to figure out who she thinks she is, because this don't match. So who is she with this self-containment and this self-assuredness walking in here? She's not fitting into these roles that women fit into. So she don't have to do biking shorts and tights on and the trendy shit. And she's not in here walking, trying to help everybody. Hi, how you doing? Oh yes, let me dim my light. So by being me, it's a problem for everybody else because I'm not fitting into this thing. And so make eye contact with everybody because everybody doesn't want that. Everybody is confused by that, but you have to be you. And that's why the gentleman, and I use that term very loosely, saying that to me and me looking him in the face. You talking to me? And I didn't know any of these things existed, but there are actually names for all of these behaviors, these neurological behaviors and everything that's taking place. And when you're in social conformity theory, you don't know what's taking place because you're conforming. But as soon as you step out of the system, everybody knows that you're out of the system because you're thin, but you are fully clothed. And now you're thin and you look like you married well, but you're not rude and you're not appeasing us. So didn't you get these memos? Didn't you get these things? Because you're not playing by our rules. And I'm saying I'm not in your fucking system because your system don't work. It needs to be imploded. So that is what's taking place, is that the further I get away from this system, the further I start using the principles of real leadership, and the more you all are using it, the more people are being disrupted by me being me. That's why I know the system has to go away, because I'm not bothering anybody. I walked in, got my food, got ready to go. No one should be this close to me in Whole Foods asking me if this is chicken noodle soup. None of that. I wasn't even in a simple clothes. So this right here says I get to disrupt your boundary because I feel like you disrupted mine. You sent an alert to me and now I must do something because you're not in your space. And I'm like, you're not you're not in your space either. Take your ass back to your space. But that eye contact is what actually stopped the predator and her. And the principle of real leadership, if you don't know, ask, are you speaking to me? So it disrupted their system. So just like we have handled conflict when it occurs, the eye contact. So if you don't take nothing else away from this live, eye contact shuts a bunch of shit down. Eye contact and a question is going to eliminate a whole, because you are creating a disruption. Because the brain, what I did was shut her, Amy, and Lala down, and his too. Because they're expecting a fight, an engagement, is something excitable. Fight, flight, freeze, or peace is what is happening. And I'm saying I'm not doing any of that. I'm getting ready to get this chicken noodle soup and going about my way. So that if you think, oh, I shouldn't be making eye contact or whatever, eye contact is going to stop some shit. And then a question. So now you can handle conflict when it occurs. You can regulate a situation with eye contact. Because then she said, I see very well, thank you. And then she walked off because she knew she was wrong. And at that point, I snapped her ass back into her prefrontal cortex so she could make a better decision, because she had made a bad decision. She had made a really bad decision, and I had my security with me. So she got something she really didn't want at that point. So what are your thoughts about that? That the eye contact is regulating people. And who knew? I had no idea.
Interesting.
And no, I will not be staying away from chicken noodle soup because I need it to settle my stomach, and it's good for my heartburn because the broth is so thin. It's not that thick stuff from everybody else. So I ain't changing shit because that's what the system says. I'm going to keep being a thermostat, not a thermometer. Any thoughts? And any other questions? Because it's 6:18
I
or
said
6:19.
interesting.
Huh? I know you said interesting. Any questions for Nola or myself? Any thoughts, revelations for eye contact? And remember, if you're saying, okay. Monique said, and answering her with follow-up questions probably surprised that lady. Well, because it was what I said. Because once I realized what she was doing, that's why I said, can you see it?
No, you said, do you need reading glasses or something like
Oh,
that?
I thought I said, can you see it? I said, do you need reading glasses? And she said, no, I see very well, thank you. So that part. Because as close as she was to me, I was thinking maybe you need to be extra close to it. So it makes sense to me because how I feel when eye contact is engaged. So the question stops that behavior because you can't be aggressive and be an Amy and Lala when you ask someone a question because now the brain has to answer that question. It
Right.
just has to. It has to, because it's like, do you need reading glasses? And now, whatever. And she did not know why she was standing next to me because the brain made all those decisions before she did the physical act of being in my face asking about some chicken noodle soup. And that's what y'all said. This ain't about chicken noodle soup. This is about compliance and dominance and making sure that you are in the spot that you are supposed to be in our hierarchy, our caste system, our social conformity system. You're out of place. So it's almost like if you were driving and you saw a car coming towards you, you'd be like, they're on the wrong side of the street. That's what they think, is that I'm on the wrong side of the street, but I'm swimming upstream. I'm not on the wrong side of the street. Regina said, to your point, people have major emotional dysregulation, and your command presence and confidence messes with people. And to your point, they are hijacked. Lola said, when I look people, it shows my confidence in what I'm saying. I'm going to get the job. Yes, ma'am. Daisy said, eye contact is good. It speaks volumes. In New York, that's a risk. Okay. And that's a risk you might need to take. My sister lived in New York, in Brooklyn, down the street from Spike's joint, on top of a funeral home. Uh, anyway, I understand, and that system needs to be disrupted. That is my whole purpose in life, is that these systems and all of this conformity and all of this, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't become the real you in these systems. And the reason, and I had this conversation with Nola, all of this shit is designed for people's comfort level and their inability to create new neural pathways. That's why I'm not participating. Because if you had more neural connections, this shit wouldn't be needed. If you actually had a regulated emotional center and a strong prefrontal cortex, when you got those alerts, you would be able to process them correctly and make actual cognitive decisions that work best for the situation. But because everybody is hijacked and everybody sees everything as a threat, how me deciding to dress up and go run my errands become a threat for everybody in every store we went in? I didn't come in there brandishing weapons. I didn't have no trench coat on with some sunglasses like, I'm going to take everybody out. I'm minding my own business, deciding that I made a apparel choice to go and do something. And part of the reason why I did it is because in Nola's business, I have not put heels on in so long that I was like, I got some new stilettos. And I'm like, I can't go straight to a stiletto because I ain't been in a wedge clunky heel. Not a wedge clunky heel, but a boot heel. So I was like, let me run these errands in these and break these boots in so I can get ready to be able to have high heels on again. So it was actually a shoe choice so that when I put these other new shoes on, in the event I need to go somewhere and put some heels on, I ain't going from flat feet to 3-inch stilettos. And then Daisy said, yeah, it's a risk. So my point is that looking people in the eye cuts down the dysregulation. That's what it does. And you need to try it in safe environments, Daisy. Just attempt to do it to see what happens, because it's like, you're not safe, you're not safe, you're not safe. And you're shutting it down and asking a question. May I help you? And that's what happened with the person from Detroit yesterday. What is your objective today? And the person didn't have an answer, and it was a smart aleck answer. And so I will go back to that. How I handle trolls is my business. I am 808 days live. I have had thousands of people call me the N word and everything else. And when my insula alerts me of an actual threat, then I am going to handle that threat differently than the people saying those bangs are terrible and everything else. So I've been hard on myself saying, well, you got to be regulated, you got to be regulated, and you got to be regulated. And I keep coming back to, I'm on my live teaching people who want to learn about the brain. Someone comes in to my live and says things to offend me. And because of the dysregulation, I'm supposed to, number one, let them. I'm not supposed to say anything back to them, even though they started it and I finished it. And then I'm supposed to block them or take some other action because they got their external stimuli, their dopamine release. And that came from some dysregulated influencers. I'm not going to do that. If you start some shit over here with me, you might get some shit back to you. And as a student, if that bothers you, I ask you this simple question. If someone came into your home and started kicking shit over, telling you you ain't shit, you don't know how to decorate, your house is ugly, and then they say, based upon the Patriot Act in the US government, I can come in any place I want to because this is a house and I can come in here, you wouldn't accept that. So as you continue to experience this experience and grow, this is my house. This is my platform. And no one gets to come over here and say offensive things to me. And then I'm supposed to be the bigger person. On my live? Yes, Nola.
People were saying stuff down there, but I
Okay,
also
eye
have a
contact.
perspective.
Okay, Daisy said yes, that's my habit. But sometimes the person's facial expression tells me a lot. Lola, and we learn a lot for it if only they understand. And they can't because, again, I'm going against the grain. And so their limbic system is faster than their cognition. And so they're automatically doing this knee jerk reactionary response because they have been alerted I'm a threat. My confidence is a threat. My competence is a threat. My leadership, command, presence is a threat. And that is what they are responding to. So I need to take action. Sometimes it's a simple delete, delete, delete. And as we saw yesterday, Lola couldn't get not one regulated comment in, but this idiot kept saying all of these offensive things. And I proved my point that Regina was saying when she laughs, people are saying this is inappropriate. But he could just keep doing what he was doing. So I'm telling you now, 1 second, Nola. If someone comes on either one of my lives and my insula alerts me that this person is a threat based upon my own experience, I'm going to address the threat. And if that makes you uncomfortable, the system says take the side of the troll and I should do something different. But I'm the one being attacked consistently online every single day. And I keep reiterating that because it's like, well, you should be better. And you, based upon what? Based upon what? A system that, and I see Regina's, a system that
No, I
says
know.
it's okay to go disrupt somebody's learning environment. Go ahead, Nola.
Additionally, what I was going to say though is because you're an educator, so it's more the equivalent to people disrupting class. So if
It
a
is.
random student came into the classroom saying dumb stuff, you would kick them out and send them to the office.
Exactly. So we're not going to say Dr. Donna just blocked them. We're going to let Dr. Donna make the regulated choice in that format to allow you to see. Now y'all understand. He talked about his car yesterday. Now y'all can see why it took me forever to not have a car. So you really can see why I will never go back there because that's what it's like being back there. And he solidified the decision for me that I'm never going back to Detroit. I'm never, ever, 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 ever going back to Detroit. And it explained 27 years of living there and feeling like that. So his engagement with me made me feel like I felt when I was in Detroit because he was bored in an airport and decided that my presence sent an alert to him. So he needed to make sure he asserted his dominance to me. That part. So Regina said, knowing about your experience with the chicken soup lady, I'm sorry, but that part, that's it, that part of the sentence, Virginia, the chicken soup lady gives me context for some of my experiencing with people, especially with older, full-figured women interacting with me. I have learned to let it run off my back. It helps me. But that's what's happening because of your physicality and the decision, health choices that you made. They want to let your skinny ass know. You can't call them a fat hussy, but they can call me skinny ass. That part, again, makes absolutely no sense. So what I am saying in summation is that looking people in the eye is your superpower. And it stops people because the more regulated you become, the more people may be approaching you without them realizing that this is a nervous system reaction to your very regulated nervous system being who you are. So it's not just going to happen to me. It's going to start happening to you. So I'm giving you a preview, the trailer version of it, because as soon as however you look, however you act, and whoever you engage with, as soon as that starts getting out of their comfort zone, you're going to start experiencing somebody saying you ain't doing that right. Why you all of these statements that have nothing to do with a personal choice that you made to regulate your emotions and strengthen your prefrontal cortex. So you need to be able to look. That's why you need to be able to look people in the eye. You need to be able to look them in the eye. Are you speaking to me? What did you just say?
Mhm.
And now you are stopping their limbic system from getting overly excitable so that you can go back to doing whatever it was that you were doing in the first place because they are neurologically unaware that it's even happening to them. You are neurologically, they don't even know it that is taking place. They just, that woman, she still, if you asked her why she was 6 inches from my face today, she might not remember she did it. And she damn sure ain't gonna be able to explain it to you because they didn't even get soup after that.
Yes.
They did not get soup. So my point is learning how to look people in the eye is something that will bode well for you as you continue to become more and more regulated. And people who can't do it are dysregulated. And that's why the mirror neurons will make you start looking away, but you don't. You look them in their face with confidence.
Yeah, Regina said you're right.
All right. Anything else before we go? So your two questions, I'm getting ready to put up on the thing so you can answer your two questions and we can get on up out of here.
My back is hurting.
Go ahead and stretch, Nola, because the two questions are up. So if you need to go stretch, you
No,
can
they're
stretch.
not. You.
They
Oh,
are
okay.
up.
There you go.
I'm
I
getting them
was like,
up.
we get to look people, and your graphic was cute, by the way. I didn't get to say that because you're upset. Um, what I
Don't
learned.
read these people. Don't read these comments.
No, what I was about to say is what I learned today was that looking people in the eye actually gives everyone uh emotional regulation. I did not know that.
Monique said, I know this is easier to look people in the eye when they
When
are
out of
out
town.
of town.
No,
What
when
you
out
mean?
of town. When she's out of town.
Oh, when you're out of town.
Mhm.
Oh, you mean when you're not in your town, when you're not at home versus locally.
Yeah. Oh,
And
what
why do you
the
think that is, Monique?
one thing I learned about myself today is have improved in looking people in the eye, not necessarily as a choice that I've been focused, a decision that I've been focused on making, but by me focusing on being more emotionally regulated and communicating effectively, I have actually gotten better at looking people in the eye. So I didn't even realize my improvement there.
And so, Monique, why do you think that is? That's my second follow-up question. Because you're in New York too, right? So why do you think that is that you can be somewhere else and look people in the eye, but when you're at home, you can't? And then for everyone else, Bridget is thinking.
Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
I did. I heard everything that you said, and I concur. I know you can't see me now. But imagine now, Nola, you got to be live. How does that feel where you can't see anybody and you're just looking and talking to
I
yourself?
would be the best person to ask about this because my ADHD, I wouldn't have been paying attention to the fact that people aren't there.
Okay, got it. Because it's transient, not long-standing effects. And because of where you currently live, and I'm gonna come back on camera for this, your social conformity theory is where you are. Your social conformity theory is where you are, where you live. And so the somatic markers you marked in order for you to survive where you live, you are there. So you know if you see a certain person, this means that. If you are in a situation, it means that. If you see people running, you're gonna go and run because that is where you actually live. That's your habitat. And so as a result of that, you have set up all these threat alerts in order for you to survive in that environment. When you are traveling, you don't know what those alerts are. Now, other people that live there know what those alerts are, but it doesn't impact you because you are a visitor to that environment and they may not have a marker for you because of where you currently are. All right. Daisy said, I learned today to look people in the eyes when I'm speaking to them to make the conversation more productive. That makes the conversation more productive. Yes, ma'am. Regina said, I learned that looking people in the eye is an important and powerful way to communicate and to maintain your prefrontal cortex. Yes, ma'am, that is correct. And then Bridget said, I learned eye contact, excuse me, and a question will disrupt the brain. I learned about myself. I need to look people in the eye to regulate my own brain, even though it's uncomfortable for me. Yes. And then Monique says, oh, okay, thank you.
Additionally, part of the reason why I don't think not seeing the people would affect me is because I grew up with live streamers, so I'm used to people. Look, I'm a simulate, so you're not there. Looking
Oh,
at
good.
people over. What you guys saying? Okay, nice to see you too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm used to people going through and scrolling up and everything. So I think because I'm used to seeing it, I would just be doing it myself.
And then Lola said, I learned by looking people in the eye, it shows that I'm listening and it shows I'm confident and that I am emotionally regulated. Okay. So, Unc James, what is your objective here this morning? If you're still on here because the number is dropping.
Mhm. What happened to Jared?
He probably had to go back to work. I wish YouTube would let me see who's on this live.
Somebody thumbs up it.
They did. Unc James, you still there?
I don't think so.
All right. So I'm gonna prove a point because I don't want to talk. Unc James, going once, going twice. Okay. So Unc James, no profile photo, and Unc James. So that means that this person is older because they called themselves Unc James with a Z. So they fancy. Now, this is a perfect example of yesterday in action. So it's a teachable moment. And if you all have to go, I understand, but I would like this on the record. So the first thing that Unc James says is Illuminati confirmed. And I didn't say anything. And I told Nola not to say anything about the comments. So Unc James decided that in this live, the first thing that they would use their fingers to type is Illuminati confirmed. Why? Why would that be the first thing that Unc James typed? It makes absolutely no sense, right? So this is a clear example of a dysregulated reaction response. Now we now know why Unc James made that decision, right? I just went over it with 313 Big Wheel yesterday. So Unc James had a dysregulated experience from me, and without being aware of it, decided to type Illuminati confirmed. Nothing happened. So then Unc James said, yes, look people in the eye. So Unc James went from saying, I'm in the Illuminati, to agreeing with me in the next comment. Not even between comments, but he is the next comment. So this is a clear example of cognitive dissonance. So you initially believed that I was part of the Illuminati, and now you're agreeing with what I said. Next, we have O, social emotional awareness from Unc James. O, social emotional awareness. So two agreements, one Illuminati confirmed, and now we have a fourth comment. I'm a Libra, so I look people in the eye. Laughing, crying emoji. I'm a Libra, so I'm a zodiac sign. And because I'm a zodiac sign, I look people in the eye, saying I don't have a problem looking people in the eye because of my zodiac sign. So that is identity protection. Got it? So we got cognitive dissonance, some agreement, and identity protection. And then next, down here, people in New York, too much a rush to look people in the eye. So now we have him making a suggestion, a overgeneralization about people in New York. Not in my experience. When I said, oh, my sister lived in New York, she lived in Brooklyn down the street from Spike Joints on Franklin, I think in DeKalb or somewhere around there. So I'm speaking about a personal experience. This is third-hand observations. So in a matter of 4 minutes, this man went from insulting me to telling me I'm an Illuminati to agreeing with me to then identity protection and then a social, basically a generalization about a whole state. So 4 different things took place in a matter of about 6 minutes.
Well, the city, because he said NYC. He made a
Right, New York
generalization
City.
about the
There you
city.
go. So this person in 4 to 6 minutes had 4 different emotional responses to me talking about something very logical. And all because his username is Unc James. So Unc James saw something that did match. Unc James needed to assert his dominance and compliance by saying Illuminati confirmed because that works other places. But because I know who I am, it was a disruption. And I knew neurologically what was taking place for him. And then that's why I told Nola, don't say anything. That's why I said
I
I'm
wasn't
not going
planning
to
on saying
acknowledge any
anything.
of it. I'm going to let this play out. And in that short period of time, what you saw was 4 different neurological choices that that person made that manifested itself into those 4 very diametrically opposed, and it might have been 5 diametrically opposed posts. The person went and saw me as a threat, so they insulted me. Then they agreed with me. Then they went and did identity protection, and then they went and did generalizations in the span of less than 6 minutes. So now do you see how dysregulated people actually are? I went from being insulted to agree with to him protecting himself to him generalizing people who live in New York City, stereotyping all of y'all because of a statement that Daisy made. So Lola said, I learned by looking people in the eye. It shows that yes. And then Regina said, Dr. Donna, I learned you be upsetting people in Whole Foods just by being yourself. I learned that looking people in the eye is necessary and stabilizes my limbic system. Yes, ma'am. So that is why I show you all everything in real time and why people in the lab with a pen and a pad and psychologists and
Are you gonna
psychotherapists
hide
and
the
all of
channel
them.
for him now?
Huh? You said what? Yes,
Now
I'm
that you're
about to do
done,
that.
before you get
Thank you
off a
very
live,
much
we
for
can't
that
do it.
reminder, Nola. So now we don't have to be bothered with Uncle James anymore. So my point is showing you this is that the more regulated you become, the more conversation that you will have with chat, because you won't be able to have this conversation with people around you. But you're going to see how their brain is doing things that they are totally 100% unaware of. Four different neurological choices that don't match. And then this person is saying, call me Unc James. So somebody somewhere is saying, hey, Unc, man, hey, old head in the barbershop talking shit. And he is confused for 4 to 6 minutes. He don't know what his brain is doing. And that's why I share all of these things with you. I then go and ask chat what's happening. I then go and do some more research. And then I watch it take place in real time. So I don't need a white paper from somebody at some university. I'm talking about everyday pressure in everyday life. People will tell you what's happening in who they are or who they think they are. And then their brain is going to say, no, this is who they actually are. Dr. Donna, you taught us to listen before we react. Sometimes people need to listen before they speak. And they can't do that initially, Lola, because they feel attacked because I'm not fitting into their social biases. So automatically they know instinctively something is different. This is different. So I must enact my safety threat mode, insult her. Because the objective for men is dominance and compliance. And for women, it's you need to be in your place as a woman and you're not appeasing and you're not freezing and you're not conforming and you're not being rude. So you're not doing what women do. You're not doing what your gender does. And then for men, you're not letting me do to you what my gender does to you. And don't throw in ethnicity or socioeconomic status. You're not doing what African American women need to do. You're not doing it. And the gentleman yesterday attempted to call me broke as he demonstrated how broke he was waiting for his flight. Your broke ass can't even book a one-stop trip, a direct flight to Mexico. So that part, it's the brain, it's that implicit behavior which is in the brain that automatically reacts before you know what happens. You're like, I didn't mean to say that. And that's why he said it first, because he had to let me know Illuminati over here, because that's the amygdala responding.
I
Then
don't
he
know too
calmed
many
down.
people in the Illuminati that are discussing the brain and
He
leadership.
just needed to
That's a
say
different.
something
No,
to
I'm just
upset
saying.
me.
Most of the time, when people say it about people, they're kind of in the same industry. But
Right.
you would be the first brain leadership educator a part of the group.
Right. So he just needed to criticize me. So he couldn't go for the wig. So he had to say, you and the Illuminati,
I know most of the
just
times
to
they're like
offend me. It's
in
just something.
entertainment and stuff. I'm like
Right.
the
So
brain.
it's just something to offend me
Sure.
because what they want is for me to stop being me. Stop doing that. You doing that is making me uncomfortable. So stop it. That's what they're saying. That's why she's in my face. Is that chicken noodle soup? Because you're supposed to be doing woman shit over here. And I don't, and chat said people know something is different and they can't put their finger on it. So now they're searching to try to figure out what category I'm in.
I
Or
feel like
people have come over here and said EBT. Type
you
the N word one letter at a time.
got
Calling
that
me and
base.
saying I look like Barack Obama or Michelle Obama.
You got that initially because of how you looked, and then when he realized you were talking about the brain, that's what made him switch. Because I don't think he thought that's what you were talking about.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
my whole point is that's why you don't pay no attention to them damn thermometer ass motherfuckers, because he changed his temperature 4 times. He changed his temperature 4 times in 6 minutes. They
Did you
cuckoo as Cocoa Puffs.
did
Huh?
you read this other Lola response to understand instead of
Yeah,
learn
I
human? Okay,
said
you
that.
read that. Okay, got it.
Yes,
I'm just making sure.
understand instead of learning something. So what you have gotten a master class in today is dysregulation in real time.
Mhm.
One person, one man who decided I need to be dominant, he needs to be dominant and I need to be compliant, started on that, agreed with me, and then asserted himself from identity protection and then made gross generalizations of a whole city population with 5 boroughs in it
Mhm.
in less than 6 minutes. That's why you don't pay no attention to them. He changed his mind 4 times in 6 minutes. Why would we do anything in their dysregulated system? And what did I do? We kept doing what we do every day, which is answer our 2 questions. And he didn't understand that there is an agenda here every day. We get to the end, you answer your 2 questions, we turn this into a Neuro Rep, you go off on your day, you do your Neuro Rep, you turn your way. This is regulation over here. This is regulation. And he was extremely dysregulated. So that's why I'm saying the more Neuro Reps you do, the more regulated you become. And you can be like, oh, see, okay, let's be dismissive of this. This I know exactly what this is. This cognitive dissonance. This identity protection over here. Oh, this is social conformity theory. Because don't nobody, when everybody talk about them terms, so ain't nobody mentioning the terms I'm mentioning. Ain't nobody talking about that social conformity theory. People might say cognitive dissonance, but ain't nobody saying, oh, I see you doing a little identity protection over here talking about you a Libra. No one's saying that. So no one is actually naming the dysregulated behaviors in everyday life that stop people from being regulated. That part isn't occurring, but it is now. And I'm learning more every single day. And I'm going to continue to share with you because as soon as more people become regulated, all this other nonsense goes away. And we actually are just living this calm, peaceful, regulated existence so we can go do extraordinary things. So does anybody else have anything else? I know it's 6:50, but I have to demonstrate those, and not but. I need to demonstrate that for you so you can start being aware of it around you. Yes, my amazing offspring.
You know, I put those other 2 clips of the live inside of there because you said you needed
Yes.
some other ones. I'm just letting you know that I did
Okay,
do that.
thank you. You
I did that a
too.
couple
Go
days
ahead,
ago. I
Regina.
just didn't know.
Yes, you have a great day. Monique has something, I think. Or is that a typo?
I know it's a period, so I don't know if that is going to be something. Maybe it was an incomplete ellipse, or maybe it didn't.
We'll
But
see.
she didn't want
And
it there at
Lola, if
all.
you
Yeah.
have to go as well, I understand. Ugh, and this is for people for the replay for the future. You got bumped off. Okay. Well, we're literally just closing out, Monique. If you didn't see the part about me analyzing what Uncle James did, just scroll back, get to the end. It was like about 1 hour and 6 minutes in where I just went through his neurological process that he went through and how he changed his whole mind and pitch and approach 4 times in less than 6 minutes and what he actually went through as he stayed on the live. And I did ask, was he still here? Because I was going to tell him that he was doing it, but he left and now he's blocked, so he will never know. Okay. Very effective live this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my oatmeal halfway through and then get in the shower and go about my day. Your Neuro Rep information will be up there here within the next hour on both platforms. You all go off and have a brain-tastic day. God willing, higher power in the universe. I'll be back, same time, same place, same space, different brain t-shirt, and you all will see Nola next week. Take care. Adios.